I mean, 0 viewers currently. We're on the air now.
Awesome.
Okay. There's no viewers, but this is being recorded, so it's okay.
That is
All right.
okay.
Welcome to the first webinar for LuLaRoe Pride. The other webinars were examples or testers, but this is our first. Oh, we have a viewer, Brittany. This is our first webinar, and I have invited Brittany Hunter to come and talk about her story. I wanted her to share her story because Brittany is actually, Deanne's the first consultant, but Brittany was the first recruit. She was the first girl who said, I want to do this. Tell me how to do this. So I've invited her. Oh, Michelle says, this is,
Hi, Michelle.
yes. So we are going to share today. Brittany's going to share, and then we're going to open it up for questions later. There's a chat like Michelle just did. Um, there's a chat on the right-hand side. Hi, Michelle. And oh no, we have 4 viewers. Yay. But right now we're just going to open it up to Brittany, and then later we'll open it up to questions. So Brittany, tell us about the very beginning.
Okay, well, the very beginning, it was about 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago, that it was the first time Deanne came with her maxi skirts that were unhemmed, and she just had gray bins set up with tags on the outside of the bins that said what size everything was. And so I would just go and grab a maxi skirt, and I bought a few because she used to come through every Christmas and Easter about 3 weeks before Christmas and 3 weeks before Easter and do little girl dress parties. I can't have it now. Sorry. And do little girl dress parties. And so I don't know, honey. Take yours and go. You can't be here. And so when she came in August, I was like, what the heck? What are you doing here? And she had the maxi skirts, so I bought a few. And then she came back through again in October, and it was my aunt that was doing the party. And so I just said, hey, I want to do a party, but I just want to do maxi skirts, no little girl dresses. Is that okay? And she was like, of course. So it was her and Michael. They came, and I think I was her last party of the night. It was late at night. Like 8 o'clock or something. And we sold 70 pieces. After that, I still had people just constantly wanting more. And I just was like, I don't have any way to get it. And I am a type of person where I can't say no to people. I can't, like, if I can figure out a way, I will do it. Like, if you ask me, I'm going to do everything I can to figure out the answer and do what I can before I say no. So where there were so many girls, I'm just like, I'm going to call up Deanne. I was working at a Curve, so it was super early in the morning, and I knew she would be leaving to go do more parties. So I was like, called her up really early, left her a voicemail and just said, hey, Deanne, I'm wondering if I can grab some more skirts from you before you leave town. And she was like, yeah, of course. When she called back, she's like, that's fine. I'm like, went and met with her, and I'm like, so if I buy 10 skirts, can I just get one free? And that's kind of what I remember. It's been 3 years, so that's kind of the gist of it, that I bought 10. She gave me one free. And then I think I got all those sold. And so I'd made $28 because that's how much we sold them for back then. Because she was selling anyway. So yeah, so I'd made $28 and I was still super excited. And I had to sell 10 maxi skirts to get $28 worth, or 11, I guess. But so it was a little bit more work than it is now. And then I called her and I was like, dude, I've gone through all those skirts. I need more. And she was just 45 minutes south. So I got in my car right away and I drove down there and met her in a parking lot and, got more skirts. And I think that might have been when she said, we'll go ahead and sell them to you for $20. You can make $8 a skirt, make a little profit, and then you can keep buying skirts or whatever. That'll help your family, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. And that's kind of how it all started. They would just drive through in her SUV every few weeks, and they just bring bags and bags of skirts. And I remember her just giving me some free skirts one time that she was trying this pattern out that was a little more form-fitted, like a mermaid style. And so she just gave them to me just to see how they ran. I sold them all, and I just loved it. I mean, people came to me. I utilized Facebook like crazy. And then come January, my sister-in-law wanted to do a party, and she lived like 3.5 hours away.
And so
And it was
like 5 months after Deanne had given you the first 20 skirts.
Yeah. So it was like January. It was right after Christmas. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a waste of time. If I don't sell this many skirts and if I and I'm bringing my 2 kids with me, I have to make this worth my time. And I was determined to make it worth my time. That was the one thing I knew. If I was going to load up my 2 kids and I was going to carry these maxi skirts 4 hours, what could I do? And let me tell you, I had to drive 2 hours just to find the next town, just to even do anything in. And so what I did is I got there, and mind you, it was January, snow. I'm in a maxi skirt and boots, and I have my 2 kids in the car and maxi skirts in the trunk. And I was a hairdresser, so I'm like, okay, I know I can connect. What can I say to these people? And I worked for a real estate agent for a long time, and I always had to have a game plan in my head, like, okay, what am I going to say before I say it? So I'm not stumbling on my words the whole time I'm talking to these people. So I sat in my car and I pulled up, and I'm just like sweating. I'm so nervous. Nobody even knows what this is. We didn't even know. Was it LuLaRoe or was it Fitted? There was 2 different names they were going back and forth between. And Fitted was, another name. So I pulled up and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to tell them that somebody told me to come here. Like that can't be that bad. Like that'll be fine. Cause I think I did. I asked a girl that I knew that lived there and said, hey, do you know where any hair salons are? And she directed me to one. And so I went in and I said, hey, can I speak to the manager? And she was like, I'm the manager. And I was like, okay, I have these maxi skirts. And I just showed her what I was wearing. I said, a friend of mine said that you guys would be interested in looking at my maxi skirts. I have a few. Can I bring them in? And she was like, oh, sure, of course. I mean, it wasn't super busy or anything, but I brought them in. There was like 5 or 6 girls plus a few ladies getting their hair done. And that was a big stimulation, just stepping out of my comfort zone, which was crazy. Nobody knew what it was then. And even with people knowing what it is now, it's still, you're going to find yourself having to step out of your box a lot, constantly getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. And with that, I started asking the girls that were there, hey, do you know anybody else that would like to see it? I'm going to rent a price, and then I'm going to come back here. And I'd love to stop along the way and you guys can shop. And I literally went to the parking lot of a college where a bunch of girls from a hair school met me in the parking lot, and we were freezing our butts off. And they were just in the back of the trunk trying stuff on, slipping stuff on. I'd probably say I sold around 40 pieces between the whole trip that I took. And had I only done my sister-in-law's, I think she sold about 18 or something around there. She didn't even quite get to 20 to get 2 free pieces. And I was like dead set. I'm like, I have to sell 12 pieces if I'm traveling for you to get 1 free. And I just remember one time I drove 2 hours and sold 12 pieces at this party. And I was driving home and Mark calls me, and there was, very few people at this time. And he said, you have to do for every 10 you sell, you get 1 free. And I was like, no, if I'm driving 2 hours and I'm having to do all that work, I'm making them sell 12 pieces. And he's like, Brittany, the more you give, the more you get back. And I was so, so angry. And I just went home and talked to my husband about it. And he's like, you just got to do it. I mean, I loved what I did. I wasn't going to give it up. And I remember the times where I would call Deanne and I'd be like, Deanne, I'm done. I'm not making any money. Every time I make money, I'm putting that plus a bunch into this inventory and I'm building it up, and I'm not making anything. And she's like, okay, you can send them back. And I was like, what? You're just going to take them back for me? Like, it's that easy? And she's like, yeah, if you don't like what you're doing and you can't make it work, then send them back. And I don't know why I didn't, to be honest, a lot of times. Because it's a roller coaster. This business, being in it 3 years, I have gone through a lot of ups. I have been separated from my husband because of downs. I've been through a lot. We've worked through it. And if this is Michelle that I'm thinking of, that I was on the call with, one thing that she said on an opportunity I did with her, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, was she said, this business has brought my husband and I together because he's a federal firefighter and I work full time seeing 24 patients a day as a PRN. I hope I said that right, a nurse practitioner, and they work full time, both of them. Her husband's off 24 hours, on 24 hours. And she said when they get home and they're together, they work the business together and they put their kids to bed. And then they start to send invoices and package and label and pull orders. And she said, it's been so awesome for us to work together. And Amanda and I have been talking a ton about our husbands and the involvement in the business and what LuLaRoe's doing for that. If you guys are struggling from time to time, look to your husband. You know, they are there to support you and lift you, whether they're helping you with your business by watching your kids, and while maybe they're helping with homework, maybe they're doing things that normally you would only do, but now they get the chance to do it and work with you because your family is a business as well, not in the same sense, but you work together not only to help your family, but to help one another build each other up. Then there's the business side. And as you look to lean on your husband, just like Mark and Deanne do with one another. And I mean, she told us in the beginning, they butted heads a lot and they had to compromise and come. I mean, Deanne would leave for a week. Excuse me. She would leave for a week, not for. I'm trying to change my, my grammar. But she would leave and she would go sell, you know, she sold 20,000 maxi skirts between August and December. She was busting it out. And that's one thing that we haven't had to do. Like, she paved the way for us. We have not had to leave our families at home and go work our businesses. Sorry. See, I can help my daughter. I tried to send her to daycare today and she refused. So I said, okay, stay home. But she would just leave and her kids would help her. And I know a lot of us kids, it's broken then. You need to go find my iPad. I'm sorry. Her kids were supportive. And the story of her, where she was at her parents' house and she had this mansion and there was a wrought iron staircase and her mom came home from working a lot, cashed out this big bonus, and in $1 bills, had the kids all close their eyes. There was 11 kids, so they're standing at the bottom of the stairs closing their eyes, and she just makes it rain and she just throws out money. And I get cold chills every time I hear that story because that's what this is about, ladies. That's why we're here. And Amanda and I have been kind of talking about how to lead this webinar, and I did want to start about, you know, just talk about some of the struggles that we're all going to face. And that's why we have each other. I've been reaching out to Amanda, and let me tell you my personality. I feel like I've been left in the dust a lot. I have this title of being the first consultant, and that's it. I don't have a title of being, you know, you guys don't see me on a lot of webinars. You don't see me teaching a lot of classes, and that hurts my feelings sometimes, but it's because I don't reach out. I don't reach out to people, and that has hurt me. That is going to hurt your business. You have to get vulnerable, and you have to ask. A question was asked at the last training. If you could change one thing about your business from when you started to right now, what would you change? And I said, open my mouth. Like, I don't even know how to say it, but open my mouth when I'm struggling, reach out. When I am excited, this business opportunity is a lot of the reasons why I'm excited. Post about it. Ask people to join your team when it's easy to talk about LuLaRoe. Deanne mentioned, however she said it, maybe Amanda, maybe you can remember exactly what Mary Kay said, that every woman walks around with a shirt saying, help me feel beautiful. Was it something like that? And
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, no, you were there. It was in the coaches Periscope thing we kind of did.
Yeah.
She said something along those lines. Anyways, but it's true. Every woman you come across is a future customer, a future party hostess, or a future consultant.
Right.
Every woman. And if you're not reaching out to them, then you have to look at yourself and think about yourself and why maybe you might be struggling. Is it because you're not giving? Are you not doing the LuLaRoe culture and serving others and giving back? And just like I had to change my attitude in the beginning, I couldn't do for every 12 you sold. If I traveled, I'd give you one piece free. That's not the culture. That's not what they do. And as much as I didn't like it, I did it. And I have became way more successful. I became way more successful Ashley Hilliard will attest to this. We grew up together. Her husband and I were on the same farm together. Like he would cut our hay on our farm. Like we knew a lot of the same people. So in the beginning it was like, well, she's 45 minutes away and how can she come in and sell and da 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 da. And you know, even when they closed Utah to reps for a while. I don't know if you guys all knew this. A lot of you new people don't know that. They closed off Utah and said, I'm sorry, no more reps in Utah. There was a whole 25 of us or something. It was insane. And we were all like, oh, thank you. Okay, now I can work my business. But let me tell you, Kim Roylance, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Kim. I can promise you that. And some of us may get jealous and like, sometimes I'm like, well, Kim, da 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 da. Kim Roylance set a lot of this culture and made us understand and realize that the more you share with other people, the more other people that get to experience this, the more the word spreads, the more people understand and know what LuLaRoe's about. And so we opened up Utah and we freaked. I remember being on a phone with Ashley after we were on the conference call and we're like, this is bull crap. We're not going to be able to do this. Since then, both of us in our own small towns of like 50,000 people have brought on and built teams who have been able to build and spread throughout the country. And that's what this is about. Get your neighbor on board. Casey Storm, if she listens to this, she's amazing. She's brand new and she lives in Magna, Utah. It's a tiny little town. Her neighbor contacted her and said, I've been thinking about this. I would love to do it. And Casey's like, awesome. Let's work together. Let's do this. She's like, well, is it going to be hard? No. Look what Amanda's wearing. Look what I'm wearing. A lot of people have never seen this print. I've never seen the print Amanda has on. Right. That's what this is about. And that's why we share and treat every single person in this company as a sister. It doesn't matter if they're on another team. It doesn't matter if they are brand new or if they've been here forever. A lot of you girls that are brand new have taught me so much in the last few weeks and months. I never would have known, never, if we wouldn't have opened our mouths and shared and spread this love for LuLaRoe. So that's kind of all over the place, but I just go with my gut and I just start talking.
I love it though, because, you know, we don't think about, you know, those times when Utah was closed. We don't think about that your first party wasn't, you started in August selling the skirts. Your first party wasn't really till January, and you took it even further and you walked into a salon. We kind of stay in our box like you talked about, and sometimes when we hear it from somebody else, it gives us a good idea. It makes us think, oh, I could do that too. But last night I was sitting with my husband and I was like thinking about this webinar today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all of us are Deanne's, all of us. Deanne used to bust her butt. She would do 4 or 5 parties a day. She would haul the bin. She would do all of that. She would place the orders. And now look at where she's at. She doesn't.
And she had to do it organically.
Yeah.
There wasn't Facebook.
There was no 72-hour game plan. There was nothing. And look at what she's done. You know, what she's done with the business, what the tools that she's given us, the way that she's spread it, and just by talking to people. And Brittany's absolutely right. You just need to open your mouth. First of all, you need to love what you do. You need to trust that LuLaRoe has your back. You need to put your faith in the product. You need to put your faith in the company. And when you do that, you're going to start to love what you do. And that love for what you do is going to just start showing in everything. And you're going to want to talk to people about it. You're going to want to share the opportunity. You know, when I get my check, I'm really excited about my check. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm even more excited to find out about my girls' checks, or to hear about their parties, to hear about how they're doing. Because I love what I do, and I can see that they love what they do. And I'm just really, really excited for them and how it's blessing their families and how it's benefiting them. There is the Simon Sinek video that talks about people don't buy what you sell, they buy your why. And so today I really want to challenge everybody listening to this webinar today, or when you watch it later. I really want you guys to sit down. Maybe it's not something that anybody can just say right off the bat. I really want to challenge your why. Why are you doing LuLaRoe? Maybe, and it will evolve. You know, maybe it's because you need finances. maybe if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have a baby, you need a way out of the house. You need to like be able to connect with adults. My why is evolving. My why has gone from, I wanted to get out of the house more because I homeschool. It evolved into, wanting to pay off debt, wanting to buy a home. And now it's evolving into I want everybody that I know to be blessed by LuLaRoe, either when they put on a skirt, when they, join the business, when they're making money, when they do recruiting. I really want LuLaRoe to bless others. So I really want to challenge you guys to sit down and think about your why. There's the fun little way to record your why by doing the whole, you write it down so you don't have to like say it out loud. You can do that. You know, you can write it out. You can say it out loud. You can type it. I really just get your why down because that's where it starts. And when you have your why and when you have your love for the company and your faith in the company, that is going to start showing when you're talking to people, when you're going to your parties. I posted my why video, and somebody that I had kind of talked to about the business saw it, and she was immediately like, okay, let's do this. She's now a consultant, and she's starting to spread the LuLaRoe love around Iowa and, maybe get her first recruit. It's going to happen for you guys when you, it's just going to happen naturally. If
and
you're
I think, sorry, Amanda, to cut you off.
Okay.
A lot of girls, there's a lot of new people that have joined. I mean, I've lived here for 6 months and I was petrified that I wouldn't be able to make my mortgage. So my husband couldn't eat out. And so since I've moved in, now we're totally fine, of course. But since then, a lot of new people. And I've heard a lot of girls say, I'm too new at this. I can't recruit. So just know that you are not too new at this because you have a reason that you signed up. And just like Amanda said, they don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So if they know why you signed up for LuLaRoe, if they know why, then that gives them a story. And that you're not too new. People have recruited for me that aren't signed up. I have a great addict that she doesn't want to do it. So that's fine, but she gets all her friends to do it. And you're never too new. It's the first day you get your inventory, the first time you post on Facebook about LuLaRoe, that's you being a recruiter, and that's awesome. Don't ever feel too new.
Exactly. I mean, one thing, Brittany said somebody's either your customer, a hostess, or a consultant. Another thing that you can think about is everybody is either a customer, a consultant, a hostess, or they know somebody. And we're talking even men. Men come up to me sometimes and they're like, where did you get that dress? Men follow you on Facebook. I have a guy that follows me on Periscope, and his wife emailed me. She's like, I have to get something from this company because it's so awesome. So it's not just women, it's everybody. It's little kids. My girls are little advertisements because their daughters are like, oh, I love your mom, feel these leggings, So don't think that you have to compartmentalize your life. Like, this is my LuLaRoe life and this is my other life. It needs to be like flowing through you, flowing out, and it'll be natural too if you if it just becomes a love, a faith, and then your why. What was I going to say?
And if you can find something that you love, like a lot of us love clothes and fashion, and find a way to make money at it, you will never work a day in your life. I don't feel like I work. I feel like I get to connect with people and make people feel beautiful. And that's not work to me. That's getting to bless other people's lives. But not only that, I almost feel selfish because it's blessing me more than it's blessing anybody else.
Right. I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on when you are working with somebody and they sign up with somebody else. Raise your hand if it's happened to you. Brittany, has it happened to you?
Yes. Several times.
It sucks. It totally sucks. And I'm not going to tell you it doesn't. I feel like when it happens to me, it's like somebody punched me in the gut, because I think, why didn't that person want to sign up with me? Or it makes me frustrated if they received an incentive or something. But you have to think, initial reaction is, that sucks. I get like, even talking about it right now, my stomach is like getting anxiety because I hate it when it happens. It's like, it's almost like when your kids have a friend that's mean to them and you're just like, oh, I hate that for them. That's how I feel. But I always think like, I think about this all the time. This is my statement. Some will, some won't. So what's next? I think about that. And then I think, really, first of all, it's that person's loss because they don't get me. I'm awesome. Second of all, I don't really want them on my team if they're not 100% wanting to be on my team, because I want girls who who trust me to be their consultant, their sponsor, and who really want to work the business. And if they're looking for an incentive, if they're, going out and shopping consultants to be their sponsor, that's not the kind of person I want on my team. I want somebody who is a team player, who is going to do this together, and who's going to trust me in that role. And so when that does happen to you guys, yes, sulk a little bit. I do it, but get it out of your system and say to yourself, this is only going to make me stronger for next time. And you're going to gain confidence when you think about that. When you think, it's their loss. And when you think, okay, how can I change what I did with that person, or what can I learn from that situation for the next time? And don't let it stop you from recruiting. Every no you get, that's one chance closer to a yes. That means that you're out there. You're just like when you get no's for hosting a party, you're going to get no's for recruiting. People are going to go to other hostesses or other consultants. It's going to happen, but don't let that stop you.
And don't talk crap about the consultant ever.
Right. We're all here together, maybe talk about it to your husband. That's when you can bring your husband in, because, honestly, you got to let off that steam. You're like, that stupid hoe, but sorry. But you get that off your chest and then think, okay, that's fine. Move on. Who's next?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really sorry that it's happening. I know it's happening lately to people, and I'm really sorry. Whenever I hear about it happening, I want to hug you guys personally, because it sucks. And I know how you feel. We all know how it feels. But just know that you're going to get stronger. You're going to gain more confidence when you move to the next person. So right now, for you 14 viewers who are on, Brittany and I are going to stay on for about 15 more minutes if there's questions. So if anybody has questions right now, go ahead and pop it up. There's that little chat on the side. You can ask us something about that we've talked about today, or you can ask us anything, how we do a Google Doc, anything right now. We are open for
that. Don't ask me that. It's disorganized here. One thing, as you guys are coming up with questions, I've written this like 5 different times because I keep hearing it over and over when I talk to different leaders, but it says, how committed are you to the results you desire? Think about that really, really hard. How committed are you to the results that you desire? What do you desire out of LuLaRoe? Do you want more money? Do you want time with your family? Do you want your husband to quit his job? And it's going to change. It's just like reevaluating your why. What are the results you desire, and how committed are you? I'm not going to lie. When I think about, it just happened to me, actually. A girl I grew up with ended up signing up with another girl that was in her town, and she worked with her. And I was like, what did I do? What did I do? When I think back and look at like the steps, I probably didn't contact her as much as I should have. She contacted and reached out to me, and I sent her the information. I spent an hour and a half on the phone talking with her and her, a girl that was going to do it with her. And then I just let it go. I was like, well, I guess they'll come to me when they come to me. I didn't keep following up. And a week later, I noticed her. She's still on my team, but she's not under me. And I was like, well, what the heck? Why not? And I can't blame anybody but myself. Same as like crappy parties. Let's talk about crappy parties, because we all have them. And sometimes you can look back and say, I did everything I could have done for that party. I helped my hostess. But just remember, Deanne creates excitement. So if you host a party, if you do an event, if you do anything, blast it all over Facebook. No matter what, you've gotten a new shipment for every single party you do. I don't care if you do 3 a day. You've gotten a new shipment for every single one of those parties. And you're going to make it happen. You're going to make it rain. LuLaRoe, new shipment in your parties. So just make sure you always hype up new inventory at every party.
Okay, Christy says, when you're smashing your LuLaRoe world and your real world, do you get people that complain about it? I know a lot of direct sales companies are really pushy on their Facebook, and I don't want to seem like LuLaRoe like that to my friends and family outside of my VIP page. Okay, Christy, that's excellent. So my husband's a pastor, and I don't want my customers, I don't want anybody in my church feeling pressure. First of all, I hate pressure. I'm the kind of person where I say it and I think in my head, so what's next for anything, skirts, hosting party, becoming a recruit. So if I keep that in the back of my head, it's going to flow naturally. And if I stress about it, then it's going to be, it's not going to be happening for me. There was a period of my life with LuLaRoe, my time with LuLaRoe, where I was stressing about recruiting, and it was like all I talked about. To me, it was fake. And now I know, looking back, I was so focused on recruiting that I was losing sight of myself. I was losing sight of my why. I was losing sight with my business, and I totally stopped, and I became vulnerable. I let down my guard of, I have to recruit. I let down my guard and was like, you know what? It's going to happen naturally. And it started to happen naturally again. So I try to find, Christy, just to your question really quick, I try to find a balance. I post maybe 1 or 2 times on my public page. I post maybe twice a month on my personal Instagram. But you know what? That's where you're going to find people. That's where go ahead, Brittany.
What do you post?
I have a personal Instagram, and then I have a business Instagram. Like last weekend when we were in Vegas, I posted a picture of my friends. I'm going to start tearing up because, that I want to know what LuLaRoe has done for me. And I can't not post on my personal Instagram how it's changed my life. It can't only be in my business Instagram. So you just kind of have to find a balance and let it come organically, Christy. When something awesome happens for you, share it with your family. Don't post all the time. What?
Well, and you're always going to be wearing it. If you're posting and you're out looking at lights with your family, and you take a picture with you and your family, just be like, I'm so grateful for this time I get to spend with my family, and you hashtag LuLaRoe. That's it. And people will start to gain interest with that. And I don't feel like that's pushy. I think a lot of times people are accidental leaders. We've talked a lot about that and stuff before too, that people will come up to you and you're like, what? Like when I posted my link and said, hey, if anybody's interested in joining the opportunity, or you can post about the opportunity call every Tuesday, Thursday. Kelly Fott, she posts every Tuesday and Thursday. She has a ginormous team. She busts her butt. And if people don't like you, they can quit following you. That's right. What I say. Their choice.
Right.
So I don't think that there's a way to be pushy here. When I think of pushy, it's when people come to me and they start talking about the business before they start talking about the product. And that pisses me off.
Well, there's a pepper chef girl here in our area, and she did not take no for an answer. And everybody's kind of scared to ever have a conversation with her. And I never want to be that person. I'm just always like, if you want to host a party, sure, fine, let's do a party. I'm like, whatever, and it happens organically. You don't want to be like that person who you have to book a party. Sometimes it gets you places. I don't like doing it because I don't like feeling pressured like that. So I don't do it to others, but maybe it works. It works for some.
Yeah. And just share. A lot of times you'll be doing something and you'll be like, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for LuLaRoe. Right, exactly. And people, as long as you always are positive on social media, people are going to want to follow you. It's when you get negative and drama that people won't. And that's where it's fishy and weird. So do you want to do the next one?
Yeah. Julie says, how much do you follow up with someone that contacts you with interest in the business? I never want to push the line of stalking. Okay. Julie, okay, now Michelle says the same thing. Julie,
Yep.
totally good question. People have some come to me with interest and I continue to follow up. I'm following up too much, twice and let it go. Michelle, that's a good thing. So when people contact you with interest, I want to just encourage you to get them on the phone. When you get them on the phone and you talk to them one-on-one, first of all, you're instantly, if they do sign up, you're instantly going to be creating a personal relationship with them. And when you type up, I for a long time I was just sending out a business opportunity letter that was like 3 pages that you had to read. And now I don't do that anymore. I just get them on the phone. I talk to them. And that to me is like the best way to make contact because you're instantly creating that relationship with that person. And 9 times out of 10, because they hear your why in your conversation with them, they're going to want to get into your why, and the clothes just come with it because our product is amazing. So first of all, call them. And second of all, twice, that's a good rule of thumb, Michelle. Twice and gone,
I keep a list. So like this is my board. It has all my team members and then it has potentials.
It has a picture of me on there.
Yes, and our picture from training. Yes. But I like to keep that up there until somebody tells me no. Honestly, if I even contact them every week, hey, there's another opportunity call. If you're interested in listening, here's the information again. Just touching base until somebody says, it's not the right time for me. Say, hey, do you want me to follow up with you? How long? Another question that they always ask in our leaderships is us asking, even you guys as our girls, how do you want to be coached? Well, how do you want me to contact you? How do you want me to touch base with you in a week? Do you want me to touch base with you in a month? Ask them, and then just keep a running somewhere, keep their name somewhere. That's why, like, I don't mind I posted my link and I had 4 people sign up on it in a day. A lot of them don't get it, but at least they're on there. And so now, exactly, you keep following up until you tell them to stop. And they're there all the time. So I can always be like, oh yeah, I got to think about this person. Let me send them a message about. I'm so excited. It's the new year, new you time for January. A lot of people are hitting the gym. They're starting to lose weight. They're going to be wanting to buy a lot of new clothes for them.
People are people are getting away from the snow. They're going to Florida and to Mexico.
They need some kimonos for their swimsuits.
Right.
And Valentine's Day, they need some for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay.
Yeah, I agree, Michelle. Just tell them, you just keep going until you tell them to stop, or you ask them, how often do you want me to be in touch, or when's a time frame? A lot of people right now are waiting on tax returns, and that's fine, right? That's totally fine if they're waiting on tax returns, but don't forget about them. That's the thing is like, and don't forget about your girls either. And I have a problem. I know I've been bad. Amanda can attest, because I look up to Amanda a lot more than she realizes, because she's going to be mentor before me. And I can't wait for that day. I'm so excited. St. Patrick's Day. Honestly, if you look online, Sarah Robbins, I know both of us really like Sarah Robbins, but she's the one that told me, new year, new you, love yourself in February. Look her up on YouTube when you're feeling down. Today, trust me, I feel like crap. My glands are like swollen. I've lifted so much. Today was going to be like a day of no work. I was going to sit and I was going to lay in bed all day. But thankfully, I got to do this today. But move your business every day. Yeah. And sometimes that does mean even if you contact somebody that's talked to you about it before, because a lot of times they forget. And exactly.
Yeah. Go. I had another question. This was about inventory. Somebody asked if we have insurance on our inventory. I do not, and maybe I should. I know that there are some girls who do. They have it worked into their home ownership insurance. What about you, Brittany?
I've had to do it for events, but I've never, I think it's just included, talk to an insurance agent, really.
Right. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Ask away. Brittany made a really good point. Do something for your business every day, whether you post something on Instagram, some girls just post a really cute dress and they say, hey, I have this dress in a small, anybody want it, make a sale, book a party.
Hashtag OOTD, hashtag outfit of the day. If you ever don't know what to do for that day, hashtag outfit of the day.
Exactly.
It's a huge hashtag. If you can go get a little black dress or something with black in it that's a dress, hashtag LBD for little black dress. Go search hashtags and find a way to make it work.
Right, exactly. January and February is Double Hostess Reward Month. So if you are having trouble booking parties in January and February, I will post on Brittany's page. I think I already posted it on mine. There's a Double Hostess Reward image that I did. I posted my dates on my VIP page. I said you can either do a live party, an online party in an event, or an online party here in the shop. All my dates were gone within 5 minutes. So look at your calendar, see, what you have available and do that. Kira says, for pop-ups, do you have everything hanging? I have just now gone to everything hanging except for leggings. I even hung up my little girl Maxis because they were just not getting looked at. I got a really cute for my little girl Maxis. It's a hanger like this with circles in it. And I have 2 sizes per hanger. I think there's 6. Maybe there's 5 and I didn't. I can't remember. My assistant did it. But she just pulled the Maxis through. I got one of those hangers that hangs up the skirts where you have, 2 and it can hang up the skirts like that. That's how I hang up my little girl Azures, hang up all my little girl dresses, and I now hang up all my Maxis. One thing, because we have so many styles now, I suggest only doing 5 to 8 pieces per size in each style. If you're feeling like your inventory isn't moving, maybe you're carrying too much. I have my Jills out. I love my Jills personally. They're not selling. Nobody's looking at them right now. Actually, well, anyways. So I'm thinking about pulling them until summer because they're a very thin skirt. So think about ways of, I take my Annas out in March and I bring them back in September. Do things like that so that you're not carrying too much. One way that you could do it if you're hanging everything is put things in garment bags. And my girls help me. They pick up the bins. We do bins. And I have everything color-coded. All of my dresses are in purple boxes. All my shirts are in green. And all my skirts are in clear. Because that way, when we get to the party, we know exactly where to put, what rack to put everything by. And we can just hang really quickly. I set up last night in like 15 minutes. And you can have your hostesses help you set that up too. So think about, being vulnerable. If they mess up, it's okay. You can go back later when the people are looking through the stuff and say, oh, you know what? That goes over here. No big deal. So yes, I do hang up everything. Sorry if that was a long-winded question or answer. Anybody else have any questions? Next week, we are going to be doing a webinar on time management and self-care. I have asked Kristen Rhodes. She just became a trainer last month. She's awesome and amazing. She is a massage therapist and a yoga instructor. And I've asked her to come and talk or to do a webinar with me on self-care. Thanks, Kira. We haven't set a time or date, so just be watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. It's called LuLaRoe Pride. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can't watch the webinars as they are live. If you are watching this later and you have a question for us, post it in Brittany's team page, Pumped Up Chicks, or in LuLaRoe Pride, or if you're under Kara in hers or Brandy's, anybody, or in Erin's, anybody who's posted this webinar, if on that post with the link, write your question there, tag me, tag Brittany, whatever. We hope that you guys enjoyed this. This was kind of our first run. I'm really excited that we're doing this more often. Brittany, thank you so much for helping out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I wish I could squeeze you.
We have good squeezes too.
Oh my gosh. I was like totally anticipating Brittany Hunter's hug. And I was like, I told her when she picks me up off the ground, I'm like, I knew you were going to do that.
Hey, if you got guns, you got to use them, right? I got to squeeze
right.
it.
All right. We love you guys. We really love you guys. We are here for you. Honestly, that is what we are for. Don't think, oh, she's too busy. I'm busy, but I am still here for you. Okay.
I'm
Brittany,
busy trying to reach out and help you guys. So make it easier for me to call
yes.
me.
Okay. Love
Thanks,
you guys. Have a great Thursday. Love you, Brittany.
Bye.